You've seen it, haven't you? The way they glance over their shoulder, the way their confidence shakes the moment you step forward. They always thought they were untouchable, always thought the truth could stay buried forever. And now, finally, it has surfaced. And you, standing right there in the light of it, see the fear in their eyes. Not a fake, rehearsed fear, but the kind that makes a person shrink inside themselves. The kind that wakes them up at 3 a.m. thinking, how did they find out? It's easy to underestimate the power of knowing. Most people live their lives distracted, pretending nothing matters beyond the surface. But you've seen the patterns. You felt the pulse of what others ignore. And now, you carry the secret that changes everything. The world doesn't like people who carry the truth. They don't want to see it, and they certainly don't want to confront it. But here you are, holding it, alive with it, and that energy is heavier than anything they've faced before. That weight of knowing, it makes them hesitate, it makes them falter, it makes them scared of their next move. Imagine for a moment the faces around you, the people who pretended to be strong, who smiled in your presence, who acted untouchable. And now, all that pretense cracks. They stop mid-step, pause mid-sentence, unsure if they should speak, unsure if they should act. That hesitation, that moment of pure uncertainty, is your power. You don't need to threaten, you don't need to demand, you don't need to yell or prove yourself. Simply standing there, fully aware, fully unshaken, is enough to shake the strongest of walls. Because here's the truth they've been avoiding. Knowledge doesn't just change how you see the world, it changes how the world sees you. When someone realizes that you know what they hoped would remain hidden, their world tilts. Every plan they thought was foolproof, every move they believed was invisible, every word they counted on being secret, now it trembles under the weight of your awareness. And the scariest part, they know you're not going to forget it, and they know you're not going to wait. You act differently, you move differently, you speak differently, because now you carry the edge of clarity, the sharpness of insight, the quiet but undeniable force of truth. And you want to feel that energy, don't you? That deep, vibrating charge that comes from understanding something others can't even see. That power is yours. Every time you decide to step forward, every time you decide to confront the hesitation in their eyes with your unwavering presence. And while you do, take a moment and think, how many times have they underestimated you? How many times have they dismissed your observations, your instincts, your quiet knowledge? Now, all of that doubt and dismissal turns against them. They cannot move freely. They cannot act confidently. Because you've seen through it all, and you carry the secret they feared would never be revealed. Now, if you're watching this, I want you to take a moment and do something. Hit that like button, because it's not just a click, it's a declaration. Hit subscribe because staying connected isn't passive. It's active. It's claiming your stake in this journey. And comment below, share your thoughts, your experiences, the moments you've held a truth no one else dared face. Because every time you do, you solidify your own power. You become a part of a growing force of people who refuse to be invisible, who refuse to let fear control them, who refuse to let secrets rule their lives. And that, more than anything, shakes the world around you. The world isn't ready for people who know. They tell themselves lies to feel safe. They convince themselves that silence is protection, that ignorance is security. But when you reveal even a hint of awareness, the cracks begin. They pause before moving. They hesitate before speaking. They weigh every action as if the ground beneath them has suddenly become unsure. And that is where you exist, not in the noise, not in the shouting, not in the chaos, but in the quiet, in the calm, in the knowledge that you are the shift in balance, the disruption in their certainty, the undeniable force that reminds them control was never theirs, not really. And you see, fear is contagious, but so is confidence. When you carry the truth, when you hold the secret they tried to bury, when you step into the room fully aware and fully alive, that fear begins to mirror itself. It becomes part of the air around them. It creeps into their decisions, into their strategies, into their very thoughts. And you don't even need to act. It is enough that you know. The weight of truth in your hands is heavier than any weapon, more effective than any scheme, more powerful than any attempt they make to recover what they lost. Because truth is not something they can fight with force. Truth is something they can only run from, and running is exactly what they are afraid of now. They don't want to admit it, but deep down, they know the rules have changed. Everything they thought was stable is now shaking. Every plan, every alliance, every careful calculation. They feel the ground slipping beneath them because of a single truth you hold. And it's not a truth that can be hidden with words, not a truth that can be brushed aside with excuses. It exists quietly, steadily, like a shadow that refuses to leave. And they are terrified of it. You see, the danger for them isn't loud, it isn't chaotic, it is calm, deliberate, measured. It is the kind of danger that doesn't announce itself, that doesn't need to. You don't have to scream. You don't have to prove anything. Your very awareness, your very presence is enough to unravel them. This is the power of knowledge, and it is intoxicating. There's no thrill like knowing something others fear, something they cannot undo or unlearn. And with that knowledge comes clarity. You start seeing patterns in ways they never could, understanding motives they never dared to articulate, predicting movements that once seemed invisible. You start noticing the hesitation in their eyes, the twitch in their voice, the flicker of doubt in what they say. Every gesture, every pause, every glance. They are speaking to you without realizing it, and every time you observe it, every time you register it, you gain more control, not over them directly, but over your own reality. You are untouchable because your mind is awake. And while they falter, while they calculate and misstep, you move with purpose. You move in a way that they cannot anticipate because your steps are guided by awareness, by precision, by insight. The fear you see reflected in their actions is not a weakness of yours. It is a mirror of their own uncertainty. And that reflection, that silent confirmation that they are no longer in charge, is something they can never erase. No act of theirs, no attempt to conceal or distract can remove what you know. It is permanent, it is undeniable, and it is yours. You might be wondering, what do I do with this power? How do I take the secret I carry and turn it into a force that shapes my world rather than just a weight I bear? The answer is deceptively simple. Consistency. Quiet, relentless, unshakable consistency. Do not let them see fear in you. Do not let them detect hesitation. Let your calm, let your focus, let your insight speak louder than anything they try to say or do. Because when a person who fears the truth sees someone unshaken by it, the effect is instantaneous. Their confidence crumbles, their narrative falls apart, and their fear grows, growing louder than any noise, stronger than any attempt at disguise. And here's the part most people never mention. They're afraid of what you might do next, not in a violent way, not in a dramatic way, but in the subtle, terrifying way that comes when someone understands a truth they cannot escape. Every decision you make now carries weight. Every move you take resonates because you are no longer invisible. You are no longer passive. You are no longer just another face in the crowd. And that realization alone terrifies them more than any confrontation ever could. The key is patience. Patience to wait, patience to observe, patience to act only when the moment aligns with the insight you carry. You don't need to rush. They are trapped by their own fear. Their hesitation is your advantage. Every pause they take, every thought they second guess, every glance they fear will reveal their uncertainty. It all works for you. You simply need to remain aware, to remain ready, and to remain unshaken. Because once you act, once you let the world feel the weight of your awareness, there will be no turning back. And in that moment, they will realize what you have always known. Knowledge is not just power, it is freedom. Freedom from being controlled, freedom from being manipulated, freedom from the invisible chains they thought could bind you. And it is frightening for them because they never wanted to face it. They never wanted anyone to hold the mirror to their truth. They never wanted someone else to see what they thought was hidden. And now, there it is, undeniable, visible, unstoppable, in your hands. The beauty of this is that it is quiet but irreversible. You don't need to announce it. You don't need to prove it to the world. The fear they carry is the proof. Their hesitation is the confirmation. And their silence, the silent, trembling silence, is your victory. They are scared, not because you are loud, but because you are fully present, fully aware, fully alive in a world where they no longer understand the rules. They thought they were untouchable. They thought that silence could shield them, that deception could protect them, that time could erase what you now hold. But time has no power over truth, and silence cannot contain it. Every hidden plan, every carefully masked motive, every lie they whispered in the shadows has now been illuminated by your awareness. And you know it. You see it. You feel it. The realization that you are the one holding this unseen power. It courses through your veins like fire, steady, relentless, unstoppable. And they feel it too, even when they pretend not to. There is a certain elegance in watching them falter, a quiet, undeniable poetry in seeing someone lose control, not because you strike, but because you exist fully in your own clarity. You do not need to manipulate. You do not need to threaten. Your power lies in your understanding, your presence, your refusal to bend to fear. They stumble in their own hesitation because for the first time, they are faced with a force they cannot anticipate, a presence they cannot shake, a mind that knows far more than they could ever imagine. And that fear, that uncertainty, spreads within them like cold water, seeping into every corner, chilling every thought, weakening every step. Do not confuse this moment with arrogance. Do not mistake this knowledge for pride. It is not about belittling them or proving them wrong. It is about recognizing the weight of awareness and letting it guide you. It is about moving through the world with clarity, moving with intention, moving with an understanding that most people will never achieve because most people are too afraid to truly see. And in that fear, they become predictable. In that hesitation, they become visible. And visibility, my friend, is power. Every glance they cast in your direction, every word they pause to measure, every silence they fear will reveal their insecurity. That is all your influence at work. You do not need to interfere. You do not need to confront. You simply need to remain. Remain grounded. Remain aware. Remain patient. Let them act. Let them make mistakes. Let them reveal themselves through the cracks of their own fear. And when they do, you will be ready. Not reactive, not impulsive, but fully in control, fully in alignment with the knowledge that you hold. You might wonder, how do I maintain this power without losing myself in it? The answer is deceptively simple, but often overlooked. Discipline. Discipline to hold your awareness without letting it harden into bitterness. Discipline to act with precision without letting impatience rush you. Discipline to move with quiet force without seeking the validation of their acknowledgement. Because the most dangerous person to anyone who fears the truth is someone who is calm, deliberate, and unwavering. They cannot shake you because there is nothing to shake. They cannot provoke you because there is nothing to provoke. And in this balance, in this control, lies the true advantage. Every time they hesitate, every time they second guess, every time the fear creeps into their voice or their expression, it is a reminder to you, you are no longer invisible. You are no longer bound by their limitations. You are no longer trapped by the rules they try to enforce. And that freedom, that awareness, that quiet, unstoppable presence, that is the true revelation. It is a secret they cannot reclaim, a truth they cannot undo, a force they cannot diminish. And now imagine the next level. Your actions, small and deliberate, echo through their fear. You do not need to make grand gestures. A look, a pause, a simple step forward. It is enough to create doubt, enough to make them question every assumption, enough to remind them that the world has shifted. They are trapped by their own uncertainty, caught in the gravity of a truth they cannot ignore. And you, calm, collected, aware, are the axis around which their imbalance revolves. It is in this space between their fear and your clarity that you realize the depth of your power. They fear what you know, yes, but they fear even more what you might do with it. Not in a destructive way, not in a dramatic way, but in a subtle, profound way. The way someone acts when they have insight and patience, the way someone moves when they understand consequences before they appear, the way someone steps into a moment fully aware of its weight, that is terrifying to anyone who has tried to hide from reality. And here's the lesson. Power is not about confrontation. Power is about presence. Power is about understanding. Power is about being so fully aligned with truth and awareness that no attempt to manipulate, intimidate, or distract can succeed. You do not need to argue. You do not need to prove anything. Your very existence in that space, your very clarity of mind, your very alignment with what is real, that is enough. That is the force that shakes them, the invisible weight that bends their confidence, the quiet authority that makes them stop and reconsider every move they make. Every day, every moment, they are calculating, constantly, silently, nervously. And every calculation, every thought, every hesitation is a testament to the secret you hold. They can no longer move with confidence because the world you see is not the world they control. You carry the unseen weight of awareness, and that weight is heavier than any facade they ever wore. It presses against them not physically, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually. It is the kind of pressure they cannot fight, cannot run from, cannot escape. And you remain untouched by it, calm, steady, unshaken, because you understand that true power is not loud. True power does not demand attention. True power simply exists, and the world bends around it, whether it likes it or not. Think about the way they speak now, the subtle cracks in their sentences, the pauses that betray their uncertainty. Every gesture is measured, every expression is calculated, every word is weighed and reconsidered because they know, even if they cannot admit it, that someone in their presence has the truth they cannot hide from. And that knowledge, that quiet, unstoppable certainty, creates ripples. They do not realize that each hesitation, each doubt, each silent fear they carry is an acknowledgement of your influence. They do not realize that their trembling confidence, their faltering steps, is proof that you are already ahead, that you already see what they cannot, that you are already the force they cannot control. It is a strange and intoxicating reality, the knowledge that you are alive with clarity in a world designed to blind the unaware. And the best part? They cannot accuse you of anything. You have done nothing. You have simply been awake, simply seen the patterns, simply understood the truth. And in that very act, they are undone. They cannot recover from what you carry, and that is their terror. They are trapped not by chains, not by conflict, but by the quiet brilliance of your awareness. And awareness, once earned, is never lost. Let me remind you, this is not about arrogance. This is not about superiority. This is about survival. This is about thriving. This is about moving through the world with eyes wide open when most are still asleep. It is about holding space for truth when others insist on illusion. It is about understanding, deep in your core, that knowledge is not something to wield recklessly. It is something to inhabit, to carry, to become one with. And when you do, when you live in that truth, the world cannot ignore you. And now, I want you to feel this. There is a fear you can almost taste, a fear that radiates from those around you, a fear that whispers in their glances, lingers in their pauses, hangs in the space between their words. That fear is yours, not to crush, not to mock, not to dominate, but to observe, to understand, and to let guide your actions. They are afraid not because you have acted, but because you are fully alive in a way they cannot comprehend. And that fear, silent, creeping, undeniable, is proof of your own strength. It is proof that knowledge, patience, awareness, and presence are far more potent than anything else they thought could control them. And here is where you rise even further. The true power of the secret you hold is not in exposing them immediately, not in forcing their reactions, not in proving them wrong. It is in endurance, in remaining constant, in holding that knowledge, that clarity, that insight, like a silent storm waiting on the horizon. They do not know when it will strike, or if it will strike. All they know is that it exists. All they know is that it cannot be undone. And all they know is that it changes everything. That uncertainty, that gnawing fear is where you thrive. That uncertainty is your kingdom. And you are the ruler of it, not by force, not by aggression, but simply by existing fully awake in a world too blind to see. And for a moment, imagine their world collapsing under the weight of their own hesitation. Every interaction, every decision, every move they take is shadowed by the knowledge that someone knows what they thought was hidden. And while they tremble, while they doubt, while they recalculate endlessly, you move forward, step by step, silently, deliberately, confidently. They cannot stop you. They cannot outmaneuver you. They cannot anticipate the rhythm of someone who has seen the patterns, who has understood the truth, who has embraced clarity and made it part of their very being. And that, more than anything, is the terrifying part for them. And yet, despite all this, there is mercy and patience. There is mastery and restraint. You do not need to crush them. You do not need to expose them. You do not need to dominate. You simply need to continue. Continue being aware. Continue being present. Continue being unshaken. Let their fear do the work. Let their hesitation speak for you. Let the quiet power of your understanding ripple through their world, invisible but undeniable. And every day you move like this. Every day you remain calm and deliberate. Every day you honor the truth you carry. They lose a little more control. They falter a little more. They bend a little more under the gravity of what you know. And now, understand this. The fear they feel is not about what you can take, not about what you can expose, not about what you can destroy. Their fear is about possibility. It is the fear that their world, the carefully constructed, perfectly masked, perfectly rehearsed world, can no longer dictate the rhythm of life around them. They are afraid of what you know, yes, but even more, they are afraid of what that knowledge allows you to become. Because when someone steps fully into the truth they carry, when someone moves through the world guided by awareness rather than illusion, they become unstoppable. They become unshakable. And the realization that you are that person is a quiet terror that they cannot escape. Think of it like this. Every glance, every word, every movement they make is now under the weight of scrutiny. Not just yours, but the scrutiny of reality itself. They cannot hide from the truth because truth lives in the moment, in the choices they make, in the hesitation they betray. And the more they hesitate, the more visible they become. And visibility, my friend, is not something they can control. It is not something they can erase. The moment you step into full awareness, you are no longer just another person in the room. You are the axis upon which their uncertainty spins, and the world adjusts quietly, deliberately, to your presence. Do not underestimate the subtlety of this power. You do not need to confront. You do not need to challenge. You do not need to declare anything to anyone. Your power is in restraint, in patience, in the silent consistency of awareness. You have seen what they have hidden. You have understood what they have tried to conceal. You have embraced what they hoped would remain invisible forever. And in doing so, you are beyond their reach. Their fear grows not because you act against them. It grows because you exist fully, calmly, and clearly in the light of the truth. And here's the critical lesson. The world bends quietly, not dramatically, around someone who knows what others cannot. Their hesitation becomes your advantage. Their uncertainty becomes your map. Every small pause they make, every question they second guess, every word they weigh, it is all information. It is all insight. It is all proof that they are no longer in control. And you, walking forward with the calm inevitability of someone who understands far more than they ever imagined, are in command, not through force, not through intimidation, but through presence. Let that sink in for a moment. The most terrifying thing to someone who fears exposure is not confrontation. It is patience. It is consistency. It is the quiet, relentless understanding that someone knows. And that knowledge, held with clarity and restraint, becomes a force that no amount of pretense can overcome. They cannot escape it. They cannot hide from it. They cannot even fully understand it. All they can do is falter, hesitate, and watch as their carefully constructed world begins to shift around the weight of your awareness. And that is where true mastery begins. True mastery is not about taking action against those who falter. True mastery is about cultivating a mind so disciplined, so aware, so fully aligned with the truth that every movement you make resonates with inevitability. You do not need to strike. You do not need to expose. You do not need to prove. Simply being, simply moving, simply acting with the quiet force of someone who knows it is enough to bend the world around you. And in that bending, they reveal themselves, not because you forced them, not because you demanded, but because the gravity of truth is too strong to resist. And now, let me speak directly to you, because this is where it becomes personal. Every moment you hesitate to claim your awareness, every moment you doubt your insight, every moment you fear the power you carry, it diminishes your own influence. Do not give yourself to fear. Do not give yourself to hesitation. Do not give yourself to the illusions that others try to project. Step fully into the truth you hold. Walk forward with it. Breathe it in. Let it shape your choices, guide your steps, and define your presence. Because the moment you do, everything around you shifts. They do not need to confront you. They do not need to act. Their fear speaks for them. Their hesitation shapes itself around you. Their uncertainty becomes your landscape, and your awareness becomes the path through it. And here is the final, undeniable truth. Those who fear what you know cannot control you, cannot limit you, cannot stop you. The secret, once revealed to your own mind, becomes a source of unstoppable strength. It does not just illuminate what is hidden, it transforms it into a force that moves with you, works with you, lives inside you, and guides your every step. You are no longer constrained by their illusions, no longer trapped by their manipulations, no longer weighed down by their secrecy.